Morning, fellow zombies. Are we sleep deprived and emotionally screwed up? Or are we emotionally deprived and I think I screwed that one up, didn't I? Yeah, welcome. Welcome. Not to the haunted mansion, but to the roach mansion. I am your host, your roach host. Here to bug you. It's a description. I'm still dealing with the bug war in this place. But actually, this is going to be the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me. 3:12 in the morning, Tuesday for the 23rd of April, 2024. Good morning, fellow zombies. There's a shout out to a very special friend of mine, and to all like her there. It's kind of hard to deal with a loss in the family, especially when we're dealing with those that are four-legged and very well part of our family, that they are a family. Never is, never gets any easier. My heart goes out for her and her family. Having a fur baby in a family that long, they're very well established, and it's one of the pitfalls of being mortal and limited. We love fiercely, intensely for a short amount of time, and then after that, the ones we love when they're gone, they hurt like it's like having a black hole sucking everything and every happiness and memory into non-existence, and it leaves a very painful reminder. If I talk about it in astronomical terms, it's like an entire solar system or a parsec of stars gone, planets sucked into a hole that's ever hungry. It's like any good feelings, bad feelings, memories. It's just sucked right into it, and it's hard to deal and cope with things. Much like a cosmic neighborhood has to deal with a black hole of sorts, our own hole in our souls and our hearts and our minds. It's just unbearable at times. It starts small and it gets larger and larger as it grows into maturity. I can't tell you how many I've lost in the same process that still hurts to this day. It never gets any easier. Nobody ever said it would be getting any easier. When you get to be when you get to be a pet owner and you find that loved one, you thought they're going to be there forever. And the problem is, I don't know what to do. I've lost a lot of them myself. I'm always in the process of losing one myself right now as it is. I've had several of them. It just never gets any easier. You get that much of an emotional attachment to them, and it gets harder and harder to deal with because you're so vested in this being's life, and this being is so vested in your life, and one day they're gone. Shock and awe of it, numbness of it. But I could tell you one time, more than that my ma, when she was still around, and she had lost fur babies, it took her about a week or two for her to go out to a shelter and pick one out. I think one of the hardest jobs if I would ever, or if I was ever young enough for that one, would have been working at an animal shelter. Because I don't think I'd be able to deal with it. I'd adopt them all, but I wouldn't have a place and I wouldn't have the funding to take care of them. And the hardest thing for me to do is to see the last final walk of theirs. Not out for freedom for another owner, but out of life, period. I'm going to put a anger section in this one. I should have had my camera phone ready for this one, and it just pissed me off when I'm seeing this so-called owner of an animal. And this animal is terrified of this human. It's one of the neighbors I'm living in my yard here, in my apartment complex. If I had my camera, I'd be taking a video of this guy turning his ass in. You don't mistreat animals. I can make all the lousy assumptions, but I need evidence on this guy. I'd seen cruelty. This dog was terrified. And I was hearing this guy saying he was going to put the dog back in the cage if he didn't behave. You don't do that to dogs. You just don't. I wanted to say something, but he already dragged the dog out. Dragged? Hell, he was carrying him by the scruff of his neck. I've seen other cruelties that other people have done to animals. You know, you walk a dog without having a leash on him. The leash is supposed to be a control, but it's also a way of telling the dog that you are in control. You are watching him. You're making that dog safe. At least you're trying to anyway, until something happens. Like you're supposed to bring that dog closer to you to take care of a few things. And the problem is it doesn't get that way, does it? Coming across too many dogs in the highway. Dogs want to go out. Well, they get out one way or another. Or been let out. Become victims of our own stupidity. One neighbor in this apartment complex years back had a dog named Mojo. White, brown, scruffy looking terrier mix, short haired. Kept barking at people, but I think he wanted to play with people. But I guess maybe he had a mixed behavior. He was scared, but he also wanted to play. He wanted to find out if somebody else cared about the dog. My brother and I one time had confronted this neighbor, shortly before my brother passed away. And we kept telling him, look, you got to get this dog on a leash. You got to get control of him. And the neighbors didn't care. He's in God's hands. Next thing I know, the dog's out in the street, victimized, not coming back. I heard it. I heard the thump. Car peeling off. I'm not going to get a description of the damn thing. But the owner would not grieve. Says he's in God's hands and smiled about it. Next thing I know, within that month, they moved out. The only one in the apartment complex who was pouring her heart and soul over that dog was me. As I've gotten older, I'm becoming more and more sensitive. If I happen to hear a dog whining or whelping, I have to find out. I have to get involved. I have to. It's not, there's no choice. There is a choice, and the choice has already been made a long time ago. So there's no question about it. I have to see what's going on, and I have to be that dog's advocate, apparently. I hear people on them personalities on the tube keep saying, spay and neuter your animals. Well, they got a point on that one. Because human beings have a way of making dogs' life either happy or miserable, depending what kind of asshole you're dealing with. And I got assholes living here. I also have a few neighbors out here who like to take care of the dogs to the best of their abilities, and I applaud them on that one. At least to keep them in control, leashed up, and at least not trying to be heavy-handed with them. But some people just yell and scream at their animals. They got them loose, but the fear of God in them. It's like I wanted to rescue those animals, but I couldn't. By the time I get reacted to and getting a phone ready to get a camera on, they're gone already. Disappeared and holed up, and I couldn't hear any whelpings after that. And that's what pissed me off. If I heard where the whelpings were coming from, oh yeah. To me, owning a pet is like trying to develop a relationship with another new family member coming in. You just can't mistreat them and just it just angered me. The images are seared into my head. This guy's running around his car trying to get this dog, and the dog's trying to evade him like crazy. Why didn't I get my camera phone? I could have been recording this damn thing. And that pissed me off. It pissed me off, guys. I could have done something about it. Now I have to be on extra watch. Now I have to be extra vigilant. I have to keep my ears open day and night just to see whether or not there's going to be any more hassles coming. It's like unofficially I just became the advocate around here for the pets. I know what it's like to lose dogs. Both natural causes, but also when it comes down for humans running them over. It's the hardest damn thing to deal with. Almost just as bad as when they're on their last legs and you got no other chance of getting them well. To see them underneath the needle in the vet's office. Oh, decades back when my family moved from place to place, I think there would have been a grave here and there. Their beloved blankets with them. We couldn't afford, I guess during those times, to cremate them, otherwise we'd be carrying the ashes with us. The cabinet that you see behind me, besides having my own human family, is my animal menagerie in there too. It never gets any easier. I have pictures constantly flowing through my phone and my computer system, saved on flash drives left and right, but some of them saved on the phone and also on the computer because I need it. I don't want to be forgetting them. You stay in your family that long. You stay and your heart burned in there. Hardest damn thing is to see the memory go away, but you see the physical picture of them. That's even worse. Because I can't even deal with that one, can I? Said before, a friend of mine, within the past couple of days, lost a family member, and it still hurts like hell. How does one deal with it? Patience and love. And tolerance. Prayers. Even if it's just to be there and just listen. Even if it's to a sound of a heart broken, a heart crying its soul out. Sometimes I wish I could be at places like that. Be with people and say nothing. Because what I'm doing is having my heart listen to their heart and know the pain. The thing is, when you're living short-term lives in this mortal coil of ours, long-term beings out there don't understand that short-term. You live in life intensely because you want to use every ounce that you can to understand it, and even to appreciate those around you more so. And then when you lose those presents, it's an empty hole that aches like crazy that can't be filled. We could try. As I said before, after my mom lost a pet, I was close to her. Even if it was like 3 or 4 years old or stayed in a family 3 or 4 years, it was still part of the family. We'd go out and get another one, fill that hole. But try to make another pet's life more meaningful to them and to the family. It's not just commodities that you're trading like crazy. They're the lives that matter. I'd taken the semester off to deal with my own dog and her own slow demise. Dementia has kicked in. It's just still going through it, and I'm seeing the physical deterioration of her. And some days I'm able to deal, and other days I'm looking at her and I'm crying my eyeballs out because I know eventually I'm going to miss her. I'm going to lose her. That I don't know what else I'm going to do after when she's gone. I kept saying to myself, she's the only family member that matters to me in my life right now. Because she's the closest thing in my family. Every time she whines, I have to see what she wants. She just stay there and not quite sure what to do. So I'll scoop her up in my arms and love her like crazy. And then we'll see if she needs to go out or she'll want food. She'll have food. She needs to go to the bathroom. Well, if I can't get her outside, I got the pads ready to go. I just want to let her know that she is loved. Like I've seen some of the other cruelty of the other assholes around here that don't treat their animals very well. But my dog is loved. I have great sympathy and empathy for those animals. and have the humans who just don't give a shit about their lives. It hurts like hell. And I have to be observing all this stuff and recording it if I can. I don't appreciate an animal being used just for human sport. Not on my watch.